everyone, Richard Phillips back at you with another modern video. I haven't put up any content in quite a while. I've been more or less uninterested in modern. I've been playing a lot of it still, but there wasn't anything that was like super exciting, anything that I wanted to share with you guys that I was playing at least. And blue-white control was pretty bad and still is pretty bad in the meta. You can still win with it, but just because you can win with something doesn't mean that it's particularly good. So anyway, here today, I finally have a deck that I'm very excited about. This is Death Shadow Zoo. It is a combo aggro deck that is trying to deal itself a lot of damage and play an early Death Shadow or a big Tarmogoyf or a Wild Nacatl or sometimes a Swift Spear, even though this one's a little bit less less good. And then you have the Become Immense Teamer Battle Rage combo. That was the big Rage in Standard about, oh boy, maybe 2 years ago now. And you can very easily kill an opponent basically out of nowhere. Like turn 2, you can play like, Tarmogoyf or a Death Shadow, and then turn 3, you just pump it, double strike it, and you just win the game. It's really nice. In order to enable that, we got our 4 Mishra's Baubles, 4 Street Wraiths, we have a bunch of fetches, and we are 4 colors. There's no white in the main deck, but you do need a white land in order to make the Nacatl a 3/3. Usually that's the last land you want to fetch, and it's almost always Sacred Foundry because a lot of our lands are red-based. We have, 8 red-based fetches, and 4 that are not. So usually it's that one. And then this Godless Shrine is almost only fetched if we're bringing in Faith Shield in the sideboard. So very complicated. I'm probably going to make a lot of punts. Please point all of them out to me because I would like to get better at playing this deck. It's been popping up on Magic Online. It just placed at the GP. I think it came in 5th, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to go check that at the end of the video. The sideboard has a couple of more pieces of interaction. Main deck, we just have the Bolts and the Thought Seizes and the Dismembers. We get some Fatal Pushes if we think that the opponent is somehow going to be able to disrupt us by playing creatures, which isn't terribly all that often, but if we think that their deck's a little faster than ours, then yeah, the Fatal Pushes should probably come in. Assassin's Trophies to kill something like Bridge, same with Ancient Grudge. Collective Brutality for the Burn matchup, which is a really rough matchup to navigate. Not necessarily to win, but just to navigate is a really rough matchup. We got Hooting Mandrills and Claim to Fame. Claim to Fame is one of my favorite cards. It's very much underutilized, but for 3 mana, we can just bring back like a Death Shadow with haste and usually just kill the opponent with it. It's so good and grindy. And then we got a couple more hand disruption spells. If we think they have kill spells, this deck folds pretty easily to even a single piece of interaction, so you have to make sure that you can, especially Path to Exile. Path to Exile is the really rough one. And then this card here, Faith Shield. So we're splashing 2 white lands in the deck for this card, basically. And I think the jury's still out on whether or not it's worth it. This card is incredibly strong at when it's good, when you can turn on the Fateful Hour, when you have 5 or less life. You can just give everything that you have protection, and basically it's just like unblockable in a lot of matchups. Or for yourself, if the opponent goes to like Valakut you, actually that wouldn't even work. The opponent goes to Storm you, that would work. And you can give yourself protection from like Grape Shot. If you give yourself protection from red, then it's not really going to do anything. So, little bit unsure if this card here is better than something like Apostle's Blessing. Apostle's Blessing is a lot easier on our mana and also deals us a little bit of damage, and kind of has the same effect. Like every single time I've cast this card, I've brought it in and cast, it's just been to like protect a Tarmogoyf or something from a Path to Exile or a Fatal Push. I've never really gotten to turn on like the Fateful Hour unblockable part of it. So anyway, this is the deck. Please point out all my punts. I know I'm going to make some. I'm excited to run this through a competitive league and see how it plays out. I've done a few test leagues. I've been enjoying them. I haven't done better than a 4-1. I think I 4-1'd once and I 3-2'd twice. But I felt like the deck was right there. Like my opponent either got really lucky, or I bricked one turn, or I misplayed, or something similar. So I think the deck is really strong. It wasn't like I just got blown out or in really any of them, and I blew out my opponent many times. So this deck's very capable of a turn 3 win. And against something like Tron that doesn't interact well with this kind of strategy, it's the nuts. All right, and I'll see you guys at the beginning of round number 1. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 1. We are on the draw, and all of this deck is all about sequencing. So this hand, I would say, is probably a little bit below average. We only have one land, but we do get multiple looks with this bauble. We're not going to be able to use the bauble, unfortunately, as like a pseudo scry because we don't have a fetch land, but we do have a Swift Spear, and it does trigger prowess. So we are going to keep this, but we do need a second land with the way that this hand is set up, or we need the opponent to damage us a lot. All right, Horizon Canopy pass is probably a good sign for us, especially if we're drawing another bolt. They have to be playing a creature deck. So we're going to go Swift Spear here. We're going to cast the bauble, and we'll probably just crack the bauble on their upkeep. There's no reason to do it now. So this way, if they have Thoughtseize, they can't take whatever card this is. And the revealed card is... Okay, so it is humans. Alright, so these bolts are really good, but we are going to need another land in order to really do anything with them. Alright, this looks like a freebooter, which is good for us because that doesn't really do much. We can bolt it, and then we can bolt their next thing. But we do need to draw another land. So we have 2 draws at a land in order to make this like a very solid play. If we do draw a land, I'll probably just play the Goyf, but we'll have to see. All right, we drew Dismember and Nicodle. All right. So I'm going to attack with the Swift Spear. And then I don't think there's any reason to... The 1 damage isn't what this game's going to be about. So I'm not just going to go ahead and bolt it here. I'm going to maybe see if we can find a little bit of a juicier target for it. Like if the opponent plays a Mantis Rider or something here. Might be a little bit more worthwhile. Also, there's definitely some upside to damaging ourselves because Death Shadow is a play that we can actually make next turn. So sure, the opponent plays a Champion of the Parish. That's fine. I'm almost tempted to just like take the damage off the freebooter, like even the extra 1 damage. It's going to make it a lot easier. All right, so the opponent... Why'd they tap out like that? That's so weird. All right. Yeah, let's just take the 1 damage. So that'll drop us to 17. And then we will dismember it at the end of the turn. Or we can dismember the champion. Yeah, let's just dismember the champion. That's going to deal us a lot more damage over the course of the game. Oh, I don't like how Magic Online does this. So I need to click that first if I'm paying with black mana. There we go. All right. So I'm at 13, so now any fetch is good for me. All right, there we go. Street Wraith's good. We can cycle that. Draw land. All right, draw a bauble. Okay. So we will cast the bauble. Play the Shadow, and get in at our opponent for 2. And then do the same thing. So we know they've played that. Upkeep, we'll choose them. They're drawing a Plains, which I think is good for us. Okay, they're going to get Meddling Mage and name Lightning Bolt because I think they knew that we had both. Yeah, they definitely knew we had both. So this can be a little bit of an issue. Yeah, they named Lightning Bolt. Okay, so maybe that was a reason to maybe play that a little bit differently. But we were stuck on 1 land. We've had a lot of looks at another land. Like, I don't think we necessarily did anything wrong here, but... All right, another Meddling Mage. That's fine. I guess they'll name Teamer Battle Rage here. Not even sure exactly. Yeah, they named Teamer Battle Rage. Okay, so we would like to cast a Goyf. That seems really good. All right, and they're going to make our Shadow bigger, which seems odd, but okay. Ooh, Thoughtseize. That's not the worst. All right, so do we want to Thoughtseize and attack our opponent for 5? Yeah, I think we definitely want to Thoughtseize. That seems a lot better. hopefully take something that would kill us next turn, and then we can attack with both, because then if our opponent attacks us for 5, then the Death Shadow is pretty much lethal, so they'd have to chump it. All right, Freebooter plus Phantasmal Image. Well, I guess we're just going to take the image because the Freebooter doesn't really do much. Well, they can't currently cast that. So they can't cast the image, so I guess we take the Freebooter then? Yeah, so they can't cast the image, so we're going to take the Freebooter. There we go. I know how this game works. Alright, and then, like I said, we're going to attack with both here because that threatens... that threatens lethal on the next turn if they attack with things. And it means that they have to chump with the Death Shadow regardless. So I expect our opponent to crack the Horizon Canopy here. Oh, they found it. Wow, that's rough. So this is going to exactly kill us. 3, 5, 7, 8. Ugh. Alright, well, we almost got there. Wow. All right. So in this matchup, I think we definitely want the fatal pushes. That's what, I mean, they're basically in there for this matchup. Do we want anything else? Maybe just like the Hooting Mandrills are good at just grinding out the opponent, I guess. Maybe even the Claim to Fame for that same reason. Yeah, I think maybe like that. We'll trim on like mutagenic growth, maybe like a Become Immense because we don't really need to do the combo to kill them here. So maybe we just want to bring in those two. Like I don't like Swift Spear in this matchup very much, so maybe like trim on a Swift Spear and trim on a Nakatl. Like we're really going to be on the Tarmogoyf Death Shadow plan to kill them. Just trim some of the worst stuff and bring in some of the better stuff. On the draw, we could probably bring in Claim to Fame. Yeah, I think I like that. There maybe is an argument for bringing in Faith Shield. Alright, so we're on the play. Like, so this is like exactly one of these hands that I'm not really sure if we're supposed to keep or not. The upside to this hand is so large if we draw a second land, but if we don't, this hand doesn't really do anything. So we can go like turn 1, we can search black, red, and play like Swift Spear. And then next turn we can like Thought Seize them, and then the turn after. I think this hand's just so good. If we draw something, I'm going to keep it. Opponent is mulliganing. So I think I am going to go ahead and get our 1 Blood Crypt. Or are we going to get green-black? I think green-black's more important. Maybe we're just going to play the Nakatl for 1. Oh, that's just like so little damage, though. Yeah, I think we have to get green-black. So we're going to get the Overgrown Tomb, and we're just going to play a 1/1 Nakatl, which is really sad, but that's where we're at. So now any other land lets us draw lets us play the Tarmogoyf, and the Tarmogoyf I think is the most important card in this, and out of our hand for this matchup, at least in the early game. So this way we can draw like a red-white land and still cast the Tarmogoyf. The opponent plays a Noble Hierarch. Now we have a decision as to whether or not we want to push that. Yeah, I guess we're drawing the second push. Let's just push it. And just get in for 1. So our opponent would be at 17 if we had fetched a red land for the Swift Spear and played that. However, if we do draw like a red-white land, then our Nakatl gets a lot better. All right, the opponent does have the Freebooter, so they can take the Fatal Push here, which is certainly not great. We also can't attack into it with the Nakatl as of now. But like I said, if we draw pretty much any fetch land, we're in pretty good shape. We can at least make the Nakatl a 2/2 if we draw any fetch land. And any land lets us cast this Tarmogoyf. Oh, they took the Thought Seize. That's really interesting. So they have something in their hand that's really good. I mean, I'm going to push it and attack for 1, I guess. But yeah, 18 lands. Maybe we probably should just not kept this hand. That's probably what should have happened, is we should just not have kept this hand. Yeah, the opponent's playing an Auroch Champion. That's pretty good. So Nacatl is a way to get around it, and so is Goyf. There's another land. Perfect. All right. So we can actually just start off... I was going to say we could just start off by attacking, but I changed my mind. So we're going to get Sacred Foundry. There was a way that we could theoretically have like gotten our opponent here, but I chose not to do that. Basically, which was attack and see if they'd block with the Auroch Champion, which they obviously didn't do. And then try to like Thought Seize something, but the Monastery Swift Spear would just get blocked by this Auroch Champion, so I immediately, upon seeing that line, was unwilling to do it anymore. So Tarmogoyf's actually very good here. Our opponent does gain a life, which is fine, but we still do have the combo finish in the deck. We don't really have removal for the Auroch Champion, but we have multiple green creatures in this hand, which is nice. Okay, so copying an Auroch Champion is a pretty big deal. We don't really have a good answer for Auroch Champion. A lot of humans list have been playing 4 of them because they're so good against Dredge, and it's very good against this deck, just to be very honest. I copied the Goyf. That's just wrong. I don't think we could beat 2 Auroch Champions. We theoretically could beat this, though. So I'm going to play... I guess I'll play the Swift Spear. That's fine. And then this Thought Seize is just going to get a lot worse. So I'm going to cast the Thought Seize now. They might be out of cards soon. And I also would like to play a Death Shadow at some point. So the opponent has Reflector Mage, Noble Hierarch. So we'll obviously just take the Reflector Mage. That's fine. Attacking with the Tarmogoyf doesn't seem very good. Into their own Tarmogoyf. So I guess the Tarmogoyf this is definitely like a more conservative line from our opponent. If they're taking this line, it could be correct. Okay, Sin Collector's fine. We don't have anything in our hand. I don't even think Sin Collector is good in this matchup. They probably shouldn't have it in their deck, but it might be better than some other stuff. Alright, so the opponent just passes. We know they still have a Noble Hierarch in their hand, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Tarmogoyf. That's fine. I don't want to just take damage off of this, and with the Auroch Champion, this isn't really a Death Shadow game, at least as of now. Like, getting it on the table isn't particularly helping me. So now we're just looking for a Temur Battle Rage or something similar. Just a way to have our Tarmogoyfs be able to fight through their Tarmogoyfs. Like, another thing we could do here is just attack with 2 Goyfs. They can block one and can't really block the other one very well, and just keep doing that. Alright, so we know they still have the Noble Hierarch in their hand. Alright, Death Shadow, which isn't the best, but it's probably serviceable. So should I attack with both Tarmogoyfs here? If I attack with both Tarmogoyfs, they'll block one and maybe put another creature on it, so they'll block like Sin Collector, Tarmogoyf. I'll kill the Sin Collector, and then this Goyf gets through, but then it doesn't really get any better for us. So yeah, I guess, I'm just going to play this Death Shadow, I guess. It's fine. So maybe the opponent getting the Tarmogoyf was actually, a little bit better than I thought it was. Because it definitely has stonewalled us here. We certainly have answers to the Tarmogoyf. Like, we just need to target it with something. So we can even pump the Tarmogoyf, and that would kill it. Alright, so the champion's getting pretty big. They can attack with their own Goyf now, and then we would have to double block, but that's fine. Alright. Alright, so he drew Wooded Foothills, which is nice. They have one card in hand. Trying to think if there's like a downside to playing out some of the cards in our hand. Probably not. We'll just play, I guess, this Death Shadow here. And leave up the rest for like a big turn. Also don't want to needlessly damage our life total. I'd like to just leave up fetches as much as possible. We don't play enough lands in this deck for the thinning to really matter. But what might matter is the 1 or 2 life points that we will save or gain by not fetching immediately. Okay, so the opponent plays a Dire Fleet Daredevil. That's interesting. All right. So maybe I should have thought seized. I guess they get to Fatal Push something. But, I mean, I guess Fatal Pushing something isn't even that good here. Like, what are they going to Fatal Push? Our board is, like, all the same. Like, sure, this gains them a creature and they remove a Tarmogoyf, but they couldn't really attack into us anyway. And now, especially... Yeah, okay, so they kill a Goyf, that's fine. Like, they don't really have very good attacks here. They can attack with this Champion of the Parish, but then I kill them with a Temur Battle Rage. Or basically kill them with a Temur Battle Rage, okay. So sure, so they're just going to pass the turn, that's fine. Alright, we draw Hooting Mandrills, which is pretty good. I guess we'll go ahead and Thought Seize our opponent. See what their last card is. Because that's certainly not getting any better. And now this actually lets us block the Champions of the Parish. We don't even have to play this Hooting Mandrills if we don't want. Okay, Knight of Autumn. So we do get something. That's nice. If I fetch to 7 here, is that meaningful? In order to play a Nicodle or Mandrills? Don't think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Go ahead and take Blood Crypt, I guess. Oh, wow. Alright, well, that was incorrect, as that's the only land that doesn't let us cast the spells in our hand. I'm not going to say that was a punt, but it was a pretty solid punt. I think this is actually a pretty solid bluff, and it might work out for us. But that was certainly not what I wanted to do. I wanted to probably play this Mandrills. All right, sure. The Aether Vial, our opponent's not going to do anything here, and we weren't planning on doing anything either. But now it's going to take us a couple of turns to deploy these cards. So not great, not great. Yeah, especially with another Hooting Mandrills. All right, so we'll go ahead and cast our Hooting Mandrills. I think we want to actually shrink our Goyf, as funny as that is. So we want to get rid of instant... Oh, yeah, actually, this kind of works out pretty well. So we want to get rid of instant, sorcery, land. I guess we could just tap these two. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. All right, so now the Goyfs are small again. Little baby Goyfs. And we'll just pass the turn. We need our opponent to whiff on a flyer. Okay, opponent casts Meddling Mage. That's, I think, fine. What did they name? They named Temur Battle Rage. It's a good name. So we need to draw a removal spell first before anything in order to kill the Temur or the Meddling Mage. So we need to draw like removal spell plus something. We'll just play the Nicodle here. That's fine. And I still don't think there's any any point in attacking here. Because they just block one with the Auriok Champion. But at the same time, I guess we're not really drawing to anything. We're drawing to, like, running removal spells plus Teamer Battle Rage, I guess. Yeah, see, like, this is getting bad now. So this will probably name one of our answers, so we'll have to draw the other one. Like, I guess we have... What they name? Fatal Push? Lightning Bolt. Wow. Okay, so we have 2 Dismembers in the deck to get rid of the Meddling Mage, and then we have to draw a Teamer Battle Rage on top of that, and that's still not enough damage to kill our opponent in one. Mutagenic Growth. That's actually not too bad. I think we've reached the point now where we just have to attack with both shadows and hope our opponent messes up, because that's like our only way out of this here now, is that our opponent does something stupid and we can take advantage of it. So, like, sure. Okay, yeah, so the opponent's just going to throw something out in front of it. That's fine. And then we'll just play a hoot hoot. So we'll go 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, I guess. Just play that. Opponent gains a life. Yeah, so we're definitely into, like, the opponent messes up phase, I think, of the game. Oh boy, this is not good. Naming another Auriok Champion. Yeah, that's really bad. Alright, so we need to draw, like, another Death Shadow and hope the opponent messes up. That's where we're at now. Or the opponent could just, I guess, attack. That would also be nice. Sure. Okay. Alright, there's a Bauble. So we get to cast the Bauble and target ourselves and see if we want the card on top, which I guess is kind of nice. Opponent's thinking. But yeah, we really don't have an out. Like, our opponent really needs to mess up in order for us to win, or in order to lose here. No, yeah, in order for us to win. I got it right the first time. Bloodstained Mires on top of our library. Alright, so I don't think we want that. And now there's no reason to attack because they have multiple Auriok Champions that just block the Death Shadow. Opponent's waiting to put the Aether Vial on the stack. We're going to fetch just because we don't want that card on top. Should we go to 4? Nah, probably not. Let's just get a Forest. And the Moto Bug, sure. So that's a that's a known Moto Bug of if you shuffle your library, the card on top doesn't change. It's not really, I guess, a known Moto Bug makes it seem like they have expressed that that's the case. That's not. They have not expressed that that's the case, but it's pretty well documented among players that there's an issue with Magic Online and the scrying. Alright, we draw... Yeah, we're just dead. There's nothing we can do here. Alright, everyone. Welcome to round number 2. We are unfortunately down a match in this league. Oh, man. So this is another super borderline hand. We have 4 lands, which is so many. Like, we can't draw another one, but we have Swift Spear and a double Thoughtseize. So if we draw, like, any threat off the top, it's probably fine. I am going to keep this hand due to the fact that the chances of us drawing another land are basically 0. And this is like a good 6. Like 3 lands and 3 spells is a pretty good 6. I don't think we can do better than that. So I'm going to just go and get Blood Crypt here. Right, we have so few lands left in our deck now. Of course, we're going to now draw all of them, but... But pretty much every card in our deck is super live with the Double Thoughtseize hand. Alright, opponent plays a tapped Breeding Pool. Maybe this is the Sultai Reclamation deck. Yeah, so like with another Swift Spear, this certainly gets a little bit better. I'm going to continue to fetch. We'll get our other black land this way. Just make sure we don't draw it off the top. I'm guessing Sultai Reclamation, it could be like Bant Spirits, though. And it is Unexpected Results Tron. So this is what, shuffle your library, then reveal the top card. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield and return this to its owner's hand. So am I supposed to just take that? I don't even really know how this deck wins. Like... We can take Primetime later. I guess we'll just take that. Like, they can Farseek, but they're still so far away from doing anything. Alright, so that's their hand. Alright, they're down to 15. Alright, they go Mountain and then Farseek, probably. Sure. They get a Stomping Ground. So does that mean they might have Anger in their deck? I'm assuming that means yes, they could have Anger in their deck. Alright, so I'm going to continue to fetch first before cycling the Street Wraith, just due to the nature of how the thinning works. Alright, so of course we miss, but that's, I guess, to be expected occasionally. Now we will draw a land. Alright, so their hand is now Scapeshift, Primetime, Steam Vents, Farseek, land. So now am I supposed to just take the Farseek and hope they don't draw things to do? Yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Yeah, alright. Alright, they play the Steam Vents, and now they're still 2 lands off of doing anything. Mutagenic Growth's pretty nice. Alright, so we'll do this again just to thin again. We'll attack our opponent here. I'm going to hold this Mutagenic Growth. There's no reason to fire it off preemptively. And Mutagenic Growth gets better with Temur Battle Rages and stuff. The Mutagenic Growth does 4 extra damage, so if we draw like a Bolt or something next turn, I think our opponent's just dead. And I don't want to drop us too far down. I think we will go to 4 here, but I don't want our opponent to be able to go like Valakut and land or something. I don't even know if they play Valakuts, but we're just guessing. Alright, so will this kill our opponent? So Mishra's Bauble. This is 4 damage. And then this is 4 more damage. So that puts our opponent to 1, I believe. Let's see what our opponent's drawing for the turn. They're drawing a Cinderglade. Okay, so they can play Primeval Titan. So we can put our opponent to 1. I think we're still supposed to just hold it. And that's why we shouldn't have held it. I was just thinking that. I was like, we are now going to draw Bolt off the top. All right, so that's a punt. I still don't think our opponent can do anything that really matters here. They might be able to, like, put... Oh, that's what they're going to do. They're going to get, like, a Colony Heart Expedition. Yeah, we're going to lose because I didn't fire off that mutagenic growth. They're going to get, like, they're going to get either the land that puts a dude into play, the 0-1, and then we're just dead. So now we have to get bailed out and draw, like, I don't, maybe they don't play that card out. That card's bad. The Colony Guard. Oh, they just get 2 Valakuts. Okay. So sure, all right. So we do kill them, but that's, you know, this isn't exactly what I wanted. That's it. All right. So we drew like infinite lands this game, but we're still fortunately going to be able to win, which is nice. And we don't have to show them mutagenic growth, which I think also is a little bit of a benefit. Cool. So we didn't show our opponent that we play mutagenic growth in our deck, which I think is pretty solid in terms of yeah, like for future games. All right, so what do we want in this matchup? Like, I don't even really know. Like, Duress seems pretty good. Maybe Claim to Fame. They're probably going to kill stuff. I don't think we want, like, Collective Brutalities. Maybe the Faith Shields are good, just giving something protection from, like, an Anger of the Gods. And then we can cut, like, Lightning Bolts and, like, a mutagenic growth. Just because, you know, for the same reasons. Oh, we have these dismembers to come out too. So maybe like 1 Assassin's Trophy for something random. Those 5 for these 5. And submit like that. I think I like that. Seems pretty good. I don't know exactly what our opponent could have, but I always like bringing in an Assassin's Trophy against a deck that I'm unsure about. Because, you know, with the opponent playing Eldrazi and stuff like that, they could just randomly have, like, I don't know, something stupid like a Worship or something like that we just can't ever beat. I doubt they'd be playing Worship in their deck, but, you know, they could be, so. Alright, this hand's really good. It's got a threat, and it's got some interaction, which I'm happy about. We get to use this bauble to, like, pseudo-scry, I guess. I guess a little bit less likely to make that play now because we have this Nakatl. So, yeah, I guess we're just not going to do that. We'll just go ahead and get, I guess, green, black here, and then we'll get red. Oh, I guess we're going to draw black with this one. So we're going to get green, red here, and then this white, black will let us play other stuff. Yeah, let's do that. The lands in this deck are so weird. We can do our scry next turn. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm not going to play the bauble here. I'm going to play the bauble next turn, which will let us do the trick with this Bloodstained Mire, I guess, to figure out whether or not we want the card on top, because we don't necessarily have to play this Godless Shrine. All right, the opponent suspends Search for Tomorrow. That's fine with us. All right, of course we draw our Sacred Foundry, which is not good. So we will use this Mishra's Bauble and see if we like the top card of our library. If we do, we'll play one of these. If we don't, yeah, so we don't like the top card of our library. So we will fetch here and miss out on a point of damage because of it. Oh, this deck is just so awkwardly painful with some of the things, some of the lines that you have to take with it. And get in for 2. So that was a really bad series there. The fact that we drew a land for the turn and then also missed on the bauble, forcing us to, you know, do exactly this, which is play a bad, have a bad turn there. At least we have this Assassin's Trophy up, but that's not really where you want to be. So far this deck has obviously shown that it's explosive and able to kill through interaction, but at the same time, it's just not really doing a very good job at its sequencing. Like, we're just drawing our cards in the wrong order, and it's not been particularly impressive. So we can play Godless Shrine, Thoughtseize, Death Shadow this upcoming turn, and then we have Claim to Fame up for future turns if our opponent can kill our stuff. That's our plan now. There's Battle Rage. All right, so we are getting close here. So this Godless Shrine's good. This pumps our Wood Elf, or pumps our Nikatl. What is this? Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. You gain 2 life. What? Why? Oh, I guess they want to destroy their own stuff. That's still so weird. All right, I guess I'm taking Farseek here because that puts them 2 lands off. So they have multiple Fracturing Gusts and a Prime Time. Sure. So now we'll play this Death Shadow and attack our opponent for 3. Alright, so the Search for Tomorrow comes off. Oh, I guess maybe we should have... I forgot about the Search for Tomorrow. So maybe that was wrong. Maybe we should have just taken the Primeval Titan. We do have Assassin's Trophy, but... Yeah, that was probably bad. That was probably really bad. I probably should have just taken the Prime Time. I didn't want them to kill us with the Valakut, but I guess... Yeah, alright, so they whiffed, which is good. I guess their deck presumably does have a lot of misses. Alright, there's a Wooded Foothill, so that's an extra 1 damage. Do we even have a land that it can fetch? We have a Blood Crypt that it can fetch. Alright, I mean, that's the thing. So, we'll attack. And I'll probably double strike through just to get as much damage as possible in here. If they block, no, they're not. So, I guess I just hold it then. Because we're going to win this game with the Battle Rage. We're not going to win this game with just regular damage. So I could have dealt them 3 more damage here, but I want to make sure that we're above 9 on the Valakut. Or at least above 6 on the Valakut. Alright, so there's Primeval Titan. And then... Yeah, we'll see what our opponent does here with the... with the Valakuts, but I think we have this game pretty much regardless, because we can claim to fame our Death Shadow, and then also double strike it, which would very much kill our opponent, I believe, from this board. So if our opponent goes 3 at the Nikatl and 3 at the Death Shadow, we fetch. If they don't, okay, so it doesn't look like they're even going to do that. Okay, they are doing 3 at the Death Shadow, which is just wrong, so we'll go to... So we'll do that. That's fine. Alright, so they do that. They kill that. I'm not going to Assassin's Trophy anything here, because if I do, they get to hit us with 2 Valakut triggers, which is not good. Alright, so Faith Shield actually looks like it's going to be the best thing here. I believe our opponent was dead anyway. No, I guess they weren't even dead anyway. Were they dead? Let's see. So Sacred Foundry would put our opponent to... So we could do 8, trample over for 2, 8 damage. So yeah, we would have to claim this, fame the Death Shadow, and then Faith Shield. But this is a lot easier. Oh wait, hold on. So we need to give... Gains protection. So we want to double strike this first. So we'll do red, whatever. So now it has double strike. And then we would claim the Nikatl and fame the Shadow, which would put it up to 10, and then even, yeah, and then that would kill it. But this is a lot easier. So we'll do this. And we'll name green. And that's it. All right, cool. So we're 1-1 beating up on a weird Valakut, unexpected results, strange hybrid deck. And I'll see you at the beginning of round 3. All right, everyone. Welcome to round 3. Alright, this hand is definitely something I can get behind. This is a lot better. We're not doing terribly too much damage to ourselves. We need to get red-black with our land here, but then after that, we're definitely cooking. Mana Traders gave me mismatched Thought Seizes and stuff again. Alright, so I said Blood Crypt. So yeah, there we go. Blood Crypt, into Thoughtseize our opponent. And then we'll follow that up with a Goyf. Alright, opponent's on Trons. Eldrazi Tron. So of these cards, the hardest one to beat for sure is a Chalice of the Void. So I guess we'll just take that. And even that's not terribly too hard to beat, but it's certainly harder than the other stuff. And also it puts an artifact in the bin for Goyf, even though the other, I guess, would have put an artifact creature in the bin. So, you know. Alright, and they play Power Plant, which we knew about. That's fine. There's Nakatl. There's no reason to Thoughtseize our opponent again, I guess. And the Nakatl would only be a 2/2, so I guess we should just get the Tarmogoyf down. This way we can Thoughtseize plus Nakatl next turn. Opponent plays a Tower, which is fine. And then I guess it's just going to play a Ballista for 1. That's fine also. Alright. Wooded Foothills is nice. We'll start off by Thoughtseizing our opponent. And they have an All Is Dust, a Waste, Warping Whale. So Warping Whale doesn't really do anything. Ballista also doesn't really do anything. All Is Dust is potentially a problem, but I think we should just take the Matter Reshaper, because that's the best blocker. Now they have nothing to do, and it also puts a creature in the bin, which is nice. Attack our opponent with the Goyf. And then play this Nakatl. Alright, the opponent drew a Sanctum of Ugin for the turn, which is not a particularly exciting draw. And we will just go ahead and fetch, and I guess get black-white, or red-white. I guess red-white, because we already have a Battle Rage in hand, and we might need access to more white. I'll pretend that makes sense. Sounds good to me. Alright, and there's a Bloodstained Mire, which, I mean, I guess we should play, but doesn't really do much here. Alright, and now we need to figure out whether or not we want to just Battle Rage the Tarmogoyf here. It would add an instant to the graveyard, so I guess we'll wait for our opponent to do something with this Ballista and then do that. Sounds pretty good. Alright, so 1 damage to us, and we will just go ahead and... we should use... Here, I'll do this. Alright, so there we go. So there's that. They'll go down to 3 and pass the turn. So now that even if they play a Walking Ballista for 2 here, they're still dead to the Nakatl attack. Oh, okay, so they're going to do this plus make a 1/1 with the Warping Whale. That's their plan here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fetch here. We'll get, I guess, a Stomping Ground. Doesn't really matter. And then we'll just dismember the Walking Ballista. Or that works too. So play the Swift Spear. Attack the opponent. When they make the 1/1, we'll just dismember it. And of course I didn't tap correctly here, but that's fine. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Kill the Ballista. And then their opponent is dead. Okay. So pretty explosive from our deck there. I was very happy to see that. In this matchup, what exactly do we want? I have a feeling that these lightning bolts are really bad. Same with the Mutagenic Growth, just haven't really been super interested in that. I think our opponent is... So this is always the big thing, is that the opponent probably has 4 main deck relics, and they're probably going to bring them all, or keep them all in. So to a certain extent, we probably want to just hedge a little bit that our opponent's doing that, and cut like 1 Goyf, 1 Become Immense, so we don't just lose to Chalice. I don't like just losing to a card like Chalice. Or not Chalice, like Relic. So they have Relic and they have Chalice. So Ancient Grudge is probably good. And the Assassin's Trophies are probably fine. And maybe, like, the Inquisition of Kozilek and cut these. Because Inquisition will let us get their chalices, which are a pretty big game against us. Keep in these. The mutagenic growths. Yeah, alright. Let's do that. This might not be great. Might not be perfect, but certainly I think gives us the best shot on the draw. We might be fine on the play. Actually, I expect us to be fine on the play, but on the draw, I'm a little worried. All right, so we're going to mulligan this hand. Oh, gosh. All right, so we get 2 looks at... yeah, we have to keep this. This hand's so good if we find lands. We get 3 looks at a land. Well, that's not a land, so we'll bottom that. Like, at a certain point, you know, you just have to kind of say, we're not going to win anyway, and this is pretty close to just not being able to win anyway. On the draw against a deck that has Chalice. And this hand actually does a pretty good job at beating that, assuming we draw land in the top 3. Oh, jeez. All right. So we'll cycle a Street Wraith, cycle a Street Wraith, cycle a Street Wraith. Okay, we missed. So, you know, at this point, that's fine. But we're... that was, I'd say, unlikely. As an outcome. We'll see if they play Chalice here on 1. If they do, we'll probably just concede. No, they didn't. Alright, so they're going to crack that and play Reality Smasher next turn. Alright, well, I guess we'll just ditch a Teamer Battle Rage, I guess. I don't know. Or a Tarmogoyf? Probably Tarmogoyf. Alright, so what land did the opponent get? The opponent got another Eldrazi Temple. So they're probably going to hit us with a Reality Smasher here. Oh, a Trinisphere. Yeah, okay, so we have 0 lands. They have a Trinisphere. We'll just concede now. They can kill us in any number of ways. That's fine. Alright, so if they have Trinisphere and they have... Oof, boy. Alright. Maybe we want Duress, just... as another way to find something and cut like a mutagenic growth. I guess we'll do that. Just as an extra way to deal damage. Or not to deal damage, to get in. This hand is Swift Spear, Goyf, become immense. Oh boy. I think this hand's really close. So we get 2 looks at another land. Jeez. I don't know, guys. What do you think about this? Please put in the comments if you'd keep this hand. I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. It doesn't have a Thoughtseize effect. If it had a Thoughtseize effect, I think I'd keep it. Alright. Yeah, this hand is actually pretty solid. Alright, do we want another land on top for our Death Shadow? I don't think we do, because we're going to fetch turn 1 anyway. So we'll fetch, get green-red, because this is black for next turn. So do that, play Nicodle, cycle the Street Wraith. Okay, there's Dismember. So this is definitely helping out our Shadow, and I don't think drawing the 3rd land was correct. Like, we want to be on 2 lands, unless we draw both halves of the combo, which is unlikely. Alright, so we can get down to 12 here by fetching with this Verdant Catacombs. It means that we don't get to deal damage, but we do get to play the Death Shadow, which is nice. Alternatively, we can Mutagenic Growth the Wild Nicodle to deal 1 extra damage and play the Dismember this turn. Huh. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So we're going to Mutagenic Growth this, which will pump that up to a 5, and play the Shadow, and then attack our opponent for 5 here. Okay. So this line's worse if we draw exactly Teamer Battle Rage, but if we don't draw Teamer Battle Rage, this is a significantly better line. So now our best draw is Street Wraith into Teamer Battle Rage. Alright, we drew another Verdant Catacombs. So we're just dead to like a All is Dust, but I don't think we could really play around that anyway. We'll go ahead and get Blood Crypt. And attack our opponent for 8. And make them... So we could dismember our own Death Shadow to deal our opponent more damage. So... that would be more damage next turn. So we would do it after combat anyway. Yeah, that was... I wasn't thinking... So I guess we could have dismembered the Wild Nacatl to do an extra point of damage. There we go. I knew there was a line there somewhere that we could turn this dismember into something positive, but it was not that. All right, so now we just lose to All is Dust here, but our opponent... we would have to beat our opponent on turn 3. And I wasn't going to not... Okay, so it's a Thought Knot Seer, which is great, because then we can just dismember it here. Okay, cool. So we draw a card. It's a Wooded Foothills. That doesn't do anything. Sure. So now the opponent needs to play a blocker of some sort here. Or we just win. Yeah, we were going to lose into All is Dust. Outside of that, we were in pretty good shape. Yeah, they just don't have anything. They need another blocker there. Cool. So we got the turn 3 win with a piece of Disruption. Deck's very solid against big mana in general, even on the mulligan. All right, round 4. On the play. Got 4 lands, nothing really to do with them. I think you got to mulligan this. Yeah, much better. Perfect. Another Death Shadow on top. All right, well, we're definitely doing something on turn 1, so I'm not going to take that, but certainly interesting. We'll get our Blood Crypt because that's the most important land with this strategy. Get in with the Swift Spear. There actually might have been some merit to going in with the Thoughtseize there, because we could have played the Death Shadow this turn. I guess we still can play the Death Shadow this turn. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll play Thoughtseize into Death Shadow. So we'll go get Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, we'll get Overgrown Tomb. So that's 14. And then we Thoughtseize. And we'll take, I guess, Ancient Stirrings. Because we're just going to kill our opponent before they can really do anything here. That's the plan, at least. Alright, so they crack that for green. They play the Tower, which we knew about. And then they Sylvan Scrying. So next turn they will have Wormcoil mana, so I guess we do need to get rid of that. So maybe that was actually correct to do, was to get rid of that kind of stuff. I don't know. Alright, so this is 8 mana total to do. So yeah, we'll just take the Wormcoil Engine, that's fine. Alright, so we do need a spell off the top here in order to kill our opponent. Any non-creature spell or a fetch land, I believe, works. So I know they have these cards in hand, I believe. Alright, so they play this. Oh, they also played the power plant. Okay. So Thoughtseize is a live draw. Fetchland is a live draw. Oh wait, no, sorry, the God of the Shrine is enough damage. Math is really hard. I forgot we did one more damage with the Monastery Swift Spear. So they play the O Stone here, and then we just have to shock this in. Okay, that works too. So we'll just cycle this. We don't have to show them that we have white mana in the deck. That's fine. Yeah, this is 9 damage. Cool. All right, and like I said, this deck's very good against big mana in general. They just don't... We just kill them faster than they can do things. All right, so in this matchup, the Assassin's Trophies are good on the draw. They definitely have ways to clear out our graveyard, I think. But also the way that hand played out, they might not have seen them, which is kind of cool. An Ancient Grudge is probably fine. So we'll take out Bolts, Mutagenic Growth. We should probably keep in the Dismembers. Maybe like a Become Immense, just because, like I said, I expect them to have ways to interact with our graveyard, and maybe like a Goyf, just for the same reason. So cut those, and this way we don't just lose to a graveyard hate piece. Although we probably still will, but... Yeah, I'm going to keep this hand. We have Temur Battle Rage. We have a lot of damage to deal to ourselves with multiple cyclers. So I'm very happy about this. Hopefully we can disrupt them from getting Tron, and we can draw some sort of threat. The Swift Spear is a threat, technically, I guess. I guess we just... we probably should just Thought Seize them. The 1 damage isn't super important. I guess let's just get more information from our own. Yeah, we probably should have done this first. Yeah, the sequencing there was really bad, I think. Alright, so we will take the Sylvan Scrying. They have mine. Okay, so they're off Tron now, but we do need to draw a land in order to make this play. It needs to be a green land also. So we need a green land in order to make our play relatively worthwhile. There's no green-white land in the deck, just to note. Drawing Expedition Map is a little rough. Oh, there's a green land. Perfect. All right. So we'll play that. Play the Nikotl. Play the Swift Spear. Attack our opponent. They're still 2 turns off of... Yeah, they're still 2 turns off of getting Ulamog down, which is nice, because they currently only have duplicates of the power plant. Yeah, so that's good. This is less good. Okay, that's fine. And then they're just going to cycle it. Okay, so they're really digging for their piece. So if we can draw a land here, we might be able to kill them. I didn't do exactly the math, but we can do a lot of damage. All right, Inquisition is probably just worth casting. Yeah, I guess so. So we'll just cast that. That's fine. Okay, we actually do hit. So they have mine, Ulamog. And then once again, I'm not going to... Because if we draw any land next turn, we can become Immense, Temur Battle Rage. As opposed to if we just... Well, I guess let's do the math here. So if we just become Immense the Wild Nikotl here, then we get 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. And that'll put our opponent down to 8 damage. So then next turn, we can Battle Rage, which is 4, 5, 6. So that does not kill our opponent. So I guess the fact that it doesn't kill our opponent means that we shouldn't take the line that I suggested there. So it's just, once again, 8, 9, 10, right? 8, so 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, sorry, 11, which will mean that our opponent will be at 8. And then the next turn we can double strike this, which will be 4 damage plus 2, which is 6, and 6 is not 8, so our opponent will be at 2. So we do need to do this and hope that we draw a land next turn. Okay, so the opponent plays that. And they did draw, unfortunately, Wormcoil Engine. Okay. I think that's going to seal it. Yeah, alright, so bobble. I guess we'll target ourselves. We'll see what's going on. Monastery Swift Spear. Yeah, we're just dead. So they're going to do... Yeah, we're just dead. Alright. So moving on to the third game. Our opponent still hasn't seen the Become Immenses, which is good. That's one of the things I was trying to not show our opponent there. I still think this is probably right. Maybe we should go down a Teamer Battle Rage and just bring back in like a mutagenic growth or something like that. Just more ways to kill our opponent as opposed to trying to combo kill them. Because 4 Teamer Battle Rages is a lot. And we've boarded a lot of hand disruption and removal in. This is another one of those hands I just don't think we can keep. It just doesn't do anything. Same with this. We got to go to 5. Oh, this is rough. All right, we'll keep this. Bottom that. We have multiple pieces of early interaction here. I guess we'll start with the Inquisition, and we'll get red. I know we'll get green-black. We'll get green-black. We have significantly more green spells than red spells. Alright, so we'll take the Expedition map, and our opponent is going to slowly assemble Tron. We are just going to fire off all of our spells each turn, I think. But man, that's unfortunate. Alright, so we need to draw like land, Nakatl. Alright, so there's a land. That's pretty good. And we'll go Thoughtseize our opponent. We'll take... So they have Power Plant, Mine, Ghost Quarter. Jeez. Alright, so maybe what our plan here should be is to just take all of their things and then hope we draw more things, I guess. So we'll do that, and then we'll get Blood Crypt. So now we have all of our colors except for white, which is fine because that's not how we're winning this game. So now our opponent has Tron, but they don't have any way to cycle it, and now we can draw any threat and then Battle Rage it and hope that's enough. It's going to take multiple turns for us to get through all that, but still. Okay, so no, they didn't have Tron. They had Mine. I guess I'm just... So they have Power Plant. We know they have Mine left and a Ghost Quarter. Okay. Alright, there's a Sacred Foundry, which we're just going to play. We do need a threat, though. Alright, there's an Oblivion Stone, which is fine-ish. Cycle of Street Wraith down to 6. Wooded Foothills, so we can fetch down to 3. I guess, 3 is a number. Something we can fetch down to. We should get a green land with this, I guess. Sure, so it's a Chromatic Star. Crack that. We can go to 3 here. I guess there's no real reason. I'm trying to think of reasons to go to 3 as opposed to go to 5. So 3 would let a double striking Teamer Battle Rage kill our opponent, which I guess is oddly relevant. Alright, Dismember. Okay, so no threat, unfortunately. We've gone through 13 cards in our library without seeing a threat, which is a lot of cards to not see a threat. Alright, so there's a Thrag Tusk. So our opponent will go up to 25. We're going to have to dismember the Thrag Tusk. There's no reason to not play lands because we're super dead to a lot of stuff. I'm not even sure if there's a fetchable land for this Bloodstained Mire. Alright, so our opponent finds Tron. Plays Tron. Okay, the opponent attacks the Thragtusk. We will dismember the Thragtusk. Okay, opponent gets a 3/3. I don't think we have another fetchable land, but I could be wrong. Oh, we do have. We have Godless Shrine. Okay, so we're gonna play that. We're at 2. Alright, everyone, we're on to round 5. We unfortunately lost to Tron because we had to aggressively mulligan. This hand just doesn't do anything. We gotta mulligan this. Yeah, this hand's better. We'll scry land at the top. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now this hand's actually pretty good. How we're gonna sequence it, on the other hand, is unknown. I think we're probably just gonna Thought Seize because our opponent most likely has a Fatal Push. That's my guess here. So I'm gonna get green or black. Black. I don't want to get black white. Black white just seems wrong. No, maybe it is right. I don't want black red. Yeah, let's just get black white, I guess. I probably would have gotten like basic swamp if I could. Alright, so the opponent's Abzan colors. Oh, okay, so it's Devoted Druid combo. Couple of Bugglers, Vizier. I don't know. I think this deck's really bad. Alright, let's get a Devoted Druid out of there, I guess. Doesn't really matter. So now our opponent can just play like a Vizier this turn. That's fine. Then we'll play a... Oh, they found the Devoted Druid. Jeez. Alright, so now we gotta actually... Now we gotta actually Thought Seize them again. Man, this deck. Alright. So we'll go... Bauble, target them. See what's going on. Alright, so it's a Windswept Heath on top. Alright. So we'll do that. We'll play the Nicodle. And then Thought Seize them. We know about Heath. And now we're going to know about another Heath. So we take this Vizier. And pass the turn. Alright, so we drew Mutagenic Growth, which is pretty reasonable. Opponent plays a Bugler. They can still kill us if they find the card. Well, I guess they can't kill us this turn. That's the good thing. They find an Ewit, so they are going to be able to Ewit next turn, but they still need the third part of their combo to kill us. So I guess these are good things. All right, Street Wraith's a very good draw. Cycle that to start. Wow. All right. Series of very good top decks there. So our opponent theoretically can kill us next turn, but it's going to be a little bit hard. And we certainly are going to put our opponent in a position where they're going to be behind if they can't. So we get to fetch here, get our green-black source, or maybe red-black. Yeah, I guess we want second red source. So we'll get that. We'll play the Shadow, and then play the Tarmogoyf. To note, the Tarmogoyf, we still don't have a white sword or a instant in the graveyard, so that's something just to keep in mind. Okay, the opponent plays Ewit. Sure. They screwed up already, in case you were unaware. What they should have done was tap this twice and then use the forest. Because right now they're still down a white source. Yeah, so they could have had one more white source, so they could have strung together one more bugler if they would have drawn it, if they didn't screw up like this. I think. And maybe I'm wrong. Oh, they have Cord too. Sure, we're dead. Well, make them show it. Yep. All right, we're dead. So if you're unsure how this combo works, they're going to now get Walking Ballista with this Duskwatch Recruiter. They'll just keep going through their deck until they find that, and then they Devoted Druid to kill us. All right, so in this matchup, I guess we want Fatal Push. That seems pretty important. I don't think I want to go like all in on the Collective Brutalities and stuff. That just seems really bad. Inquisition. Cut like a little trim around the combo, I guess, because we're almost kind of playing the control role in this matchup. So just like trim one of all of them and hope to just kind of beat them down. We still haven't gotten the cool combo kill yet, which is unusual because I got a lot of those when I was practicing. So our opponent, I'm unsure how our opponent's going to board. I'm assuming they're going to bring in, like, paths. I don't think they're going to go too big, though. I don't know. But anyway, we trimmed enough of all of our combos where we're honestly just trying to make, like, a big goif and then beat our opponent down. I don't think our opponent can play a fair game as well as we can. There's a chance I should have kept in the Brutalities, but we don't really have like extra cards in this deck to discard, and we also don't really have like a turn to waste on the Collective Brutality. We just got really unlucky there that our opponent drew exactly Vizier off the top after we thought seized it. That was really not lucky for us. And for the record, I still think our opponent's deck's really bad. It is a 3-card combo that isn't even particularly powerful. Wow, this is a weird hand. So we have 2 red spells that we can't cast, but we have double Thoughtseize into Tarmogoyf, or we have Thoughtseize into Tarmogoyf into Thoughtseize. So I think we're just going to keep that. Especially with our opponent like mulliganing like this, I think this is a good keep. We have so many live draws. Like almost all spells in our deck are good, and almost all lands in our opponent's deck on our deck are good. So we'll take the Druid. They just literally have Vizier and lands. All right. There's a Street Wraith, so we'll cycle that. Oh, there's Sacred Foundry. Okay, so we'll play the Sacred Foundry because that is a little bit better for the future in terms of casting our spells, but everything seems to work out pretty well here. Next turn we can go Swift Spear into Thoughtseize. Okay, the opponent is going to fetch now, making our Goyf a 3/4. I'm assuming they've drawn something that matters, like a spell. I guess I'm not 100% sure about that, but it stands to reason that they would have. So I guess we'll Thoughtseize them. If we whiff, that's fine, because I guess they just weren't going to be able to play it anyway. All right, so it's a Bugler. So we're actually very lucky. They just have those in their hand. It's probably worth just playing out lands and just start getting in at our opponent, I guess. There's still no instant in the graveyard, which is good to know. So if we do Battle Rage the Tarmogoyf, that's pretty helpful. Wow. All right. So we can double Teamer Battle Rage here. I mean, I guess let's threaten it. I don't know. So we'll attack our opponent here. If they don't block, they might be dead. 6. Yeah, I think they're dead. Wow. All right. I like this. All right, so we'll do that. So that's a 4/5, and then we double strike this one too because they didn't block. Cool. All right. So that's kind of a combo kill there. Really weird one, but I guess it works. Like maybe we're just gonna cut Nakatl to bring in a little bit more interaction. So like cut 2 Nakatls, bring in like 2 brutalities, and say that's like quote unquote interaction. Just the opponent's deck seems really significantly more resilient than I remember it being. Like sure we won there, but our opponent had every live top deck there to kill us the next turn if we didn't, or it basically, well I guess they couldn't block. So yeah, I don't know. If we didn't draw another Battle Rage, I think we drew another Battle Rage off the top there. If we didn't draw another Battle Rage off the top there, then we were not winning that game. Probably. I guess that's not true either. We were not sure to win the game. That's the best way of phrasing it. We were not sure to win the game. I'm not bringing an Assassin's Trophy in this matchup. I don't think that just seems a little too much. Like Collective Brutality is modal, where if we know that they're holding a path or a cord or something like that, it does things. Okay, so this hand has the Become Immense Teamer Battle Rage combo, and I'm all about that. So we'll keep this, and then we just hope to draw some interim spells, especially if our opponent fetches, because we can do 18 damage, I believe, with the Nakatls. So we'll, I guess, bauble ourselves. I'm trying to think of cards we would leave on top. Wooded Foothills. So Wooded Foothills is not one of the cards to leave on top. And I think we're going to get green-black with this land. So there's the Nakatl, and we'll pass the turn. Ooh, Dismember. All right, that's really nice. So that means next turn we can Dismember to make sure that we're not just dead, and also do some other stuff, which is cool. All right, sweet. All right, and there's a Goyf. So we're going to play Sacred Foundry, which pumps the Nakatl up to a 3, and then attack our opponent with it. Cool. All right, so we do have the Battle Rage. Oh, they might have Path here. Oh boy. So if they have Path here, are we supposed to just... Yeah. Damn. So I don't know what we're supposed to do here. If we're supposed to just play a threat, and if they have it, they have it. Otherwise, we have to wait like a whole nother turn. But that might be fine. So this way, the way that this has turned out, we are going to have to wait a whole extra turn in order to get the combo kill. But hopefully we'll be okay. All right, so they play Bugler. This is good. So they're not going to be able to kill us next turn, and then hopefully we can kill them the following turn. Another Become Immense. Wow. All right, so we will, I guess, go ahead and play the Goyf and pass the turn. So next turn we can possibly, I think we should be able to do 20 damage. They probably will block with the Militia Bugler, but that will add another creature to the graveyard, so I think it's exact. Oh no, there is a creature in the graveyard. Okay, so there is a creature in the graveyard. I wonder what they're going to take here. So they're going to take a land. Interesting. Wonder why they do that. Maybe they have Path here? No? Green Source. Alright, Noble Hierarch. That's fine. Alright, so this will be really interesting if they can actually kill us here. I'm going to get a tap land here, I think. So we'll get a Blood Crypt tapped. Draw another Teamer Battle Rage. So there's a chance I can actually just like Become Immense this twice and then Battle Rage it, but I don't even know if that does. All right, so we'll definitely shock this in, I think. All right, now we'll attack our opponent and we'll see what happens. So we attack our opponent. It's the first thing that happens. The opponent does what? So opponent throws a Bugler and the Eternal Witness in front of it. Okay. So if we... So we definitely want to Battle Rage it. So now we can pump it to 10. Put our opponent down to 1. And then we have Battle Rage again. Yeah, so let's just do that then. So we'll do this. Instant, land. Alright, so we put our opponent down to 1 here. And now we'll see what they can do here. They're going to need a piece of interaction. Ooh, they found it too. That's so brutal. Oh no, we're going to lose this game, aren't we? Wow. Alright, opponent attacks us for 1. So we have Bolt to kill our opponent. We have a creature. Jeez. I mean, I'm going to attack them. Shouldn't have let us untap. That was not particularly smart. Alright, I'm just not going to do anything here. They'll path it. Yeah, okay. Get a lucky shuffle in. Oh, we have Collective Brutalities also to kill our opponent. So maybe it was right to fetch with this. No, the Bloodstained Mire gives us a whole nother turn because they attack us for 3 and then 3 again. So yeah, this is correct. Is to not fetch with the Bloodstained Mire. At least as of now. Maybe it was correct to play it out because then if our opponent plays another thing, we don't have to do it. Alright, so we need a good top deck here. We need either a creature or a way to kill our opponent. And we drew a Thoughtseize, which is neither of the two. Alright, so we possibly have one more turn. If our opponent doesn't have company here. No, they have company. Oh, this is brutal. Oh, man. Well, that was unfortunate, everyone. Thank you for watching. I think we just got very unlucky. The deck didn't seem as explosive as previously thought. I probably made quite a few mistakes. Please let me know how they are, and I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope to be back with you, or back at you with some more soon.